Hey everybody, it's Reckless. So, today I will be bringing you the 5th installment of the Taken King Enlightenment videos. I will be going over the Court of Oryx, an exotic sword, and a few other things in between. All of the gameplay in this video is actually going to be from the Court of Oryx reveal. So, let's get started. I guess one of the questions at hand would be, what is the Court of Oryx? How do we unlock it? And one of the most important questions is, why should I go there? And I will answer all of these questions right now. The Court of Oryx is endgame content, which means you need to complete the story in order to do it. Yeah, the Taken King has a story. Well, we'll see how good it is when it's released. But getting back on track, the Court of Oryx is pretty much a giant arena deep within the Dreadnought. And as we know about the Dreadnought, you won't be able to find everything going through the first time. As you start the Court of Oryx, there will be multiple enemies such as Cabal, Hive, and Taken. Taken Blights are a glowing sphere of Taken energy, and they will react if you get close to them. Some Taken Blights will summon Taken, and others will just fade depending on what's going on in the current environment. Sometimes you will get a special enemy that will have a secret or a mystery that you will have to solve. So, while traversing on through the Court of Oryx, you will find a new item called Wormspore. I'm pretty sure this item will be throughout the Dreadnought, and there's no word yet on what Wormspore does. However, hunters will get an ability called Keen Insight, which allows Wormspore to show up on your minimap at all times. While you make your way closer and closer to the Court of Oryx, you will be able to obtain different runes from Taken champions. These runes will be used later on to activate the public events. Agonarch rune is one of the runes that drop, but I'm not sure if it'll drop every time when you go through the Court of Oryx or just after killing certain enemies. There wasn't anything that actually specified that. Also, just like a lot of stuff in Destiny, pretty much if it's on the floor and it's green, don't touch it. It will kill you. The Court of Oryx will take place inside the Hall of Souls. There are multiple public events that you, the Guardian, have to trigger. In order to trigger the public events, there will be statues leading toward the arena. These statues represent challenges and enemies you have killed in the Taken King. You have to present a rune to a statue in order to start the public event. 9 people can be in a public event at one time. 3 of them, which include your fire team, but that does not mean that there will be 9-man fire teams. The person who presents the rune will get the better rewards, but there is a Summoner's Exhaustion debuff that is a 40-second timer for the person who presented the rune after the public event is completed in order to prevent that person from getting the best rewards each time. So, that opens it up for another person in the team to present a rune or somebody else who's in the area. The Court of Oryx has a 3x3 tier system, which gets harder as you progress. That means when you start tier 1, you'll have to complete 3 tier 1 public events in order to unlock tier 2, and the same goes for tier 2 in order to unlock tier 3. The Stolen Rune is what keeps track of how many events you have done. You can find a Stolen Rune just by participating in the Court of Oryx. However, now in the Court of Oryx, each public event actually has mechanics that you will have to complete in order to continue to the next event, and bosses in the lower tiers will not repeat. Also, just like normal public events, there is still a timer, so you need to complete the public event before the timer runs out. Once a public event is complete, you'll earn Crota's Bane reputation, or they possibly could change the name of what the reputation is that Ares gives you, and the summoner who presented the rune will get a loot from a chest. Now here are a few quick boss notes that I actually had to take. When you have to kill Vorlog, he has an elemental shield on that changes after the shield regens. When you have to kill the 3 wizards, Alzok, Gornok, and Zyrok Dal, you need to damage them at the same time, because if you kill one and then work on the others, the one you killed will respawn if you take too long. So, my advice is that you get them all down to at least 15% of health, then kill each individually. When you have to kill Crodug, a Taken Shield Knight Major, and Mengor, a Knight Major, they both have shields that will make them immune to damage. The only way to destroy the shield is to get them close together, but when one of them dies, the other loses his shield. When you have to fight Krugnor and Ogre, it will only have a shield break when an exploding thrall does damage to him. When you have to fight Brachus Haruask, his shield will only go down after you kill all of his minions. When you begin tier 2, it will be a little bit harder because tier 2 takes 2 boss fights from tier 1 and brings them into the next public event at the same time. I want to assume that tier 3 will take 3 boss fights, or does the same as tier 2 but makes the bosses harder to kill. Tier 2 loot will come with higher rewards than tier 1, and the same goes for tier 3. But during the reveal, I seen that Laced Up Lauren actually got a completed bounty called Dreadnought Pugilist. And it looks like the bounty was completed in the Dreadnought by getting a specific amount of melee kills, because it wasn't until after she killed an enemy with the melee that she actually got the bounty completed. But what is this mission and the mission bounties? Well, when completed, you get a calcified fragment, and you can get this by defeating bosses in the Court of Oryx. There's no word on how to obtain the mission yet. And a little news for you guys who love going AFK out there. While doing the Court of Oryx, you have to be in the fight and alive in order to get credit for that event, which means no more, 10-15 minutes of you being AFK, because you will get an events cancel countdown, and if it reaches 0, you won't get credit for that event. Now, let's talk about the exotic sword that we've seen in the reveal called Raze-Lighter. So, apparently the sword are in fact a thing in Destiny, in the Taken King, and they will be going into the heavy slot. This is what the Raze-Lighter looks like. As you can see, it does have the infused system in order to upgrade it. This one specifically actually is a solar weapon. However, it looks like that there are Arc and Void versions of this weapon. Or at least that's what it looked like that the other guys in the reveal was actually using. When you infuse this weapon, you will need 250 Glimmer, 10 weapons parts, 1 exotic shard, and 3 legendary marks. The perks that were shown on this weapon are Tempered Light, which increases your armor when you wield a sword, Scabbard, which increases sword ammo capacity, Thrive by the sword, which if you get kills with a sword, it grants super energy, Phoenix Uppercut, where if you press R2, you can launch into a solar uppercut, and Warrior of Light, which gives you increased damage for your R2 attack. And lastly, as we know, the King's Fall raid will not be coming out the same day as the Taken King, but instead it will be available on September 18th at 10 a.m. Pacific Daytime, or if you're on the East Coast, it's 1 p.m. So that is everything for the Taken King Enlightenment video part 5. There's actually only 10 days left before the Taken King is actually released, and 3 days left before update 2.0 is released. However, if Bungie releases any more information about the Taken King before its release, then I will do a 6th installment of the Taken King Enlightenment videos, and maybe a 7th even if they do more. However, I will do a little review of the updates when it's actually released, because as we all know, when Bungie tells us what an update is going to be, they actually do more than just what they tell us. So I will have that for you on the 8th when that actually happens. Let me know what you guys think about the video in the comments below. This is Reckless, and I will see you guys later.